Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's great to be here with you today, as always. Today's an exciting day for me because I am spending the day in my Boston office. I'll be filming essentially all day long, and before the camera crew gets here, I'm taking a little time out to be able to record one of our Cabral Concept shows. So this is a podcast that I do rain or shine, no matter what, every single week of the year, and truly it's a labor of love. I love being able to record these shows and to be able to share with you real-world topics that I think affect you or a loved one, someone in your community can benefit from this material. We're not going over abstract, random things that honestly I don't really believe people need to focus on. I think there's so much of the minutia out there and so much irrelevant-based material that's often thrown around in the health-based field. I don't think it does anyone a whole lot of good, since what really changes the trajectory of your health or your weight loss, meaning battling, struggling with your weight, taking it off and keeping it off, and then also longevity and anti-aging, is going back to foundations, like deep foundational-based work. So, a lot of times we hear about these specific nutraceuticals, these special-based extracts or whatever it might be, or we hear about some type of machine or gadget or whatever it might be. But you have to understand, all of those are good, nothing wrong with those. Sometimes, right? Sometimes, but they're more like what I call the icing on the cake, right? It's the icing on the cake. It's the last thing that you do, not the first. You don't use coenzyme Q10 or ubiquinone or the activated form ubiquinol before you've done all the other foundational work for cardiovascular health as well as mitochondrial health. You don't need to use coenzyme Q10 for most people, right? Sure, great product. After you've already taken care of your daily foundational protocol, after you already get those omegas in there, after you're eating a good nutritious diet, and if you're using it every day, well, you're probably going to be 50, 60 plus years old. And it's a great product to use, no doubt about it. But it doesn't come before your B vitamins, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, all of your good amino acids, your omegas. It certainly does not come before those. And I would say a good daily probiotic as well. So again, higher dosages of B12. If you are doing that in isolation, you're not doing it right. And it's not coming down on you. It's just the advice you've been given isn't correct. Can methylcobalamin, hydroxycobalamin, adenosylcobalamin be good? Yes. Can they be good at higher dosages? Yes. For a short period of time, not forever, because you can't do things at high dosages forever. They're pretty good, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, but then we need to start to taper them. Because if you're already not getting the effects by then, well, there's something that you're missing. And really, B12 works better along with a lot of the other B vitamins. And it also works better if you're using it for energy or brain fog when you've already looked at the HPA axis, thyroid, etc. All right, I know I'm starting to go down a different rabbit hole than was intended for today, because today, backed by popular request, is a new topic on weight loss. So I've done many, many shows. I mean, this Wednesday show is called our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday show. So every Wednesday for the past 4 years, we have been going over all sorts of different true, scientifically proven weight loss-based protocols that can go all the way back to Ayurvedic times, 6,000 plus years ago. What I wanted to do today, though, is I want to give you some evidence-based weight loss tips that, again, are foundational. But I'm revolving them around food, except for one that always gets overlooked, right? So I'm going to go with food. These are all going to be food-based, except for the last one, which is, it's more like when you stop eating all of those, but so crucial to being able to lose weight. So 7 tips today. Could I have made it, 30? Absolutely, because there's so many tips. But my dedication to you is to bring you a show a day. And I don't want to overwhelm you with information. I want to arm you with the right information and enough that you can begin to take action on. So if your goal is to transform your body, lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or 100 pounds, use this information. The 7 evidence-based tips I'm going to give you today are not difficult to implement. That's another thing with me. I'm not going to give people difficult things to implement. You're going to hear me in the next couple months inviting on a lot of experts in different fields. I am not going to allow them to give you advice that's overly complicated, meaning you literally will need to jump through hoops in order to accomplish this, because I know that real people, myself included as a real person, is not going to be consistent with ridiculous recommendations, even if they do work. You can't take 40 different supplements a day. When I was going with many health practitioners, they were all well-meaning. I would sometimes be taking 20 different products at a time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll use 6 to 10 products with the person when I first meet with them, whatever their deficiencies show, whatever their toxicities show, but they're beginning to wean and taper. And even if there are 20, 30 things that I would like them to use, I still don't do them. And I teach my team the same thing. We go big rocks first. If you've never heard my podcast on big rocks, tune into that. That was a Motivation and Mindset Monday. But it's how I look at things. It's how things get done faster and better and non-complicated, because you have to stay consistent over 3 to 4 months. 12 weeks is really that sweet spot. And I've gone over this a lot. So here we go. I want to dive into this today. I want to spend about 2 minutes, 3 minutes per all of the 7 evidence-based weight loss tips for you today. All right, so what we are going to do right now is dive into our 7 weight loss-based tips. So the first one, I want to get this right out of the way. We are going to cover coffee or green tea. And you could put black tea in there as well. And do they work? And the answer is yes. And that is because caffeine helps to boost the metabolism. Now, can this be taken too far? Yes. What we're going to do today, and I would love you to head over there right now, is go to StephenCabral.com/1650. StephenCabral.com/1650. That's going to take you to today's show notes. We're going to link up the scientific studies. If you want to look at them yourself, you are welcome to. And also, we're going to link up previous podcasts, okay? So all podcasts are at StephenCabral.com/podcasts, and you can use the search bar to search for any podcast you would like, because I've done multiple podcasts on coffee, good for you or bad for you, and like anything, almost anything in life, it depends who's asking the question, right? Caffeine could be highly beneficial for more of the endomorphic body type. Not overboard. We're talking 200 to 300 milligrams maximum per day. If you go to Starbucks, that's a small coffee, the tall. For a regular coffee place like a Dunkin' Donuts, that's a medium. That's it for the day, right? So we're not talking about going overboard. We're talking about 200, 300 milligrams a day. Now, the studies show, though, that it can boost your metabolism by a good 10% and increase fat burning by up to 30%. So, I mean, that works, right? I mean, real science behind this, that caffeine works. Now, little caveat to that. A lot of people love adding sugar to their coffee, some type of sweetener, and they sometimes add a lot of fat and milk. Not the same. If you want the true benefits of fat burning from coffee or tea, you'll drink it black. You'll basically just drink it straight, okay? So drink your coffee straight if you're looking for it as a fat burner, and that goes with your green tea or black tea as well. So again, we'll get more into this. You don't need to use any of these, right? So you don't have to use caffeine to burn body fat. You do not have to do that. And if you're dealing with any type of adrenal HPA axis dysfunction, anxiety, stress, like super high stress, panic disorders, you don't want to be using caffeine, okay? So I just want to, again, I want to give you the truth from both sides. So just keep that in mind. Number 2, fiber. We have so many people on low carb diets, keto-based diets, etc. And they're overlooking the fact that, well, in the long term, you'll check out my podcast on this, you need fiber. You need prebiotics from those veggies for good gut health, okay? that the gut microbiome will shrink, and not in a good way, if you're not getting enough good prebiotics from vegetables, okay? So, am I advocating that you need a lot of starchy-based carbs? I'm not. Am I advocating that you need 7 to 9 servings of fruit and veggies every day? And if you want to tell me you want to go maybe just a little bit of berries and a lot of veggies, I'm okay with that. But if you are not doing 7 to 9 servings of fruit and vegetables every day, or even all vegetables, that's about 7 to 9 cups, then you are saying, I'm choosing to go low carb for body transformation over my health. And I don't want that for you. There's a reason why this show wasn't called Weight Loss Wednesdays. It's called Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesdays because our job is to help people get well. And when they get well, they can't be overweight. They can't have excess weight because the body's healthy. We're not talking about 5 pounds. We're talking about 30, 40, 50 plus pounds. If your body is healthy, it will not be overweight. We need to get the body healthy. It needs vegetables, okay? If you get bloating from vegetables, if you get gas from vegetables, if you get indigestion from vegetables, it's not the vegetable's fault. Please check out my previous show on that. You have some type of most likely bacterial overgrowth or yeast overgrowth or both, okay? And also that fiber is going to help you feel satiated. It really is. That fiber is going to fill you up longer. It's going to better balance healthy levels of blood sugar as well. That's good for body fat burning. Number 3, again, along the same lines. So many people never feel full when dieting, so-called dieting. I'm using that in air quotes. One of the reasons is this. They're not eating enough good quality protein at each meal. Some at breakfast, some at lunch, some at dinner. It works. You don't need to go overboard because I've also preached all of the detrimental effects of a high protein diet as well. Now, when you're in your, let's say in the 30 years to 60-year-old range, that's what I'm talking about today. I mean, add 20, 25 years into it as well. Your body's fully developed. You're in that adult-based stage. You're looking for about 3 to 6 ounces or about 15 to 20 grams of protein per meal. Now, I've done shows on all of these, but keep in mind that we're using, and it's not a lot of protein, just 3 to 6 ounces. 6 times 6 in terms of the grams of protein, that's a 6-ounce piece of fish or whatever it might be, about 36 grams of protein. 6 ounces of chicken, about 36 grams of protein. Like we're going anywhere between like 5 and 7 grams of protein per ounce. So it's not complicated. About the size of your fist, that's the amount of protein that you need at a meal. And that's it. And again, you can get it from a vegan-based source as well. It doesn't have to be animal-based, doesn't have to be fish, whatever works for you. I mean, we advocate using the daily nutritional support part of the morning because it's not just a protein powder, a vegan-based protein powder from pea and some rice. It's actually a full multi, electrolytes, detox factors, etc. But use what you feel is best for you, 15 to 20 grams of protein at a meal. If you weigh, let's say, 185 plus pounds, you might do a little bit more, right? Especially if you want to maintain that weight, right? And if you weigh, well, you're actually not going to need too much less than 15 grams per meal. You really aren't, no matter what your adult size. You do need about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, and that's not even if you're not that active. So for most people, somewhere between 50 and 80 grams of protein per day is kind of right around the not too little, not too much factor, right? You could certainly eat a little bit more depending on how many calories you take in per day. That's not today's show. But just know that there's a great study showing that eating 25% of your daily calories as protein reduced obsessive thoughts about food by 60% while also cutting the urge to also snack later at night, before bed, etc. Also, in my practice, when people say they're hungry an hour after a meal, almost always I know they didn't eat enough protein, right? They're going hypoglycemic or the food moved through their stomach too quickly, whatever it might be. Some good protein solves that. I'm not really an advocate of going higher than the 25% of protein, right around 20% of the diet. If you're dieting and you're hypocaloric, which means low calorie, 25% would be okay because you're hypocaloric. You're getting less than your body actually needs. But when you're at your sweet spot, you eventually maintain your weight, you find your right weight, about 20% is a good spot, certainly not more, especially if you're including a lot of animal-based protein during those mid-adult years. But again, separate podcasts on that as well. The mounting evidence against meat, that's one of them, etc. But there's a lot of podcasts that I've did previous to that. All of those can be found at stephencabral.com patreon.com/podcast. All right, number 4, love this tip because it is something that I had no idea about at all, and also didn't really believe it even when I was studying overseas. Even when I saw it with my own eyes, I didn't believe it because I have that skeptical, scientific-based mind. I'm like, I don't know about this. But when my first internship in Ayurveda was on the island of Sri Lanka. It's right off of the southernmost tip of India. And I'm sure a lot of the same foods, I guess some of the same culture as southern-based India, but they were their own people, beautiful country, really, really nice. I mean, I had a great time there. We're not talking about luxury. It's nothing like that. I was there to learn, and it was beautiful, and I learned a lot. So here's the thing. We used hot spices with all of the people there that were dealing with kapha-based disorders, mucus buildup. I won't go too deep into that kapha-based disorders today, but let's just say mucus buildup and also too much weight gain, right? So we need to help them lose weight. We would do hot spice rubs, believe it or not, like massage with it, but also internal use. So we'd be using this internal use, dry rub powder. We won't get into that today, but a specific type of massage that gets the lymphatic system moving, gets circulation moving, but the same thing happens with the inside. So many great studies. We include a patented form of basically hot red pepper inside of our Fatlocity-based product because, again, it's all science-based. And I did this based on my knowledge from being overseas and then looking at the science today, state of the art. And you'll see that this particular spice, this particular chili pepper compound, Capsimax, it helps to reduce appetite and boost metabolism. And it also has great long-term benefits as well. I mean, pretty incredible. But again, had to see to believe, and then also had to look at the research. I think both are great, right? I could see it working right there in the clinics, but then also was able to come back, research it, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of efficacy to that. So you can simply add more hot spices to your meals as well. Now, there are supplements with it, Fatlocity being probably one of the most well-known, that I was fortunate enough to be able to work with a great manufacturer, get some really rare herbs and products to be able to use in this that is backed by 25 scientific research studies. But adding spices, hot spices to your food when you want to burn body fat is a great thing to do. Boost circulation, boost digestion, helps to boost metabolism. No doubt about it. All right, the next one is this. Chew your food slowly. I did an entire podcast on mindful eating. We will link that one up today at stevencabral.com/1650. That's where we'll link everything up today. So here's the thing. When you chew more slowly or you chew slower, what it does is it begins to tell the brain that you are eating. And you might say, well, that makes sense. But you have to understand is that the more you chew, the more you activate the gastric and stomach-based secretions. And we're talking about 20 minutes to 30 minutes for those enzymatic and hydrochloric acid to start to become truly activated when you start to chew. So if you eat your entire dinner in 5 minutes, you may still be hungry. You may be more bloated, and it may take longer for you to break down those foods. I recommend chewing slowly. Another one that's been scientifically proven is use a smaller plate. Chew slowly. You're going to feel more satiated. You're going to enjoy your food more. You're going to be thinking about your food. Your mind's on your meal. And you're going to be able to reduce your anxiety and stress around eating. And studies have shown when you chew slowly and you're more mindful about your eating, that you are actually eating, so focus on that, not on other things, you will eat less calories overall. Use the 9-inch plate, the smaller plate, fill it instead of not filling an entire 12-inch plate. And that's one of the psychological things that will allow you to eat less as well. Really important. All right, number 6 is this. Great studies showed, and this is something we recommend. So we didn't have a lot of the science behind this 20 years ago, but I said this. Drink a big glass of water 30 minutes before a meal, and then don't drink a lot of water until an hour after that meal. Here's now the science to back it up 20 years later. Studies show that drinking a half liter of water, about 16 ounces, right, about a water bottle, a half hour or an hour before a meal, help dieters eat fewer calories, and they were able to lose 44% more weight compared to those that didn't drink the water. Pretty remarkable, right? So if you eat lunch at 12 o'clock, set your alarm. Just set an alarm on your phone. You can set as many alarms as you want in any phone, any smartphone. I have alarms going all day. Check this, check that. Set an alarm that goes off at, let's say, 11 a.m. And over the next 15 minutes, you need to finish a water bottle, 16 ounces. And then at 12 o'clock, you'll go for lunch. Do that at 4:30 if you have dinner at 5:30. And have a glass of water with maybe some lemon and sea salt in the morning, lime and sea salt, maybe some daily fruit and vegetable blend in there, whatever you like. But drink 16 ounces. So if you do that 3 times a day, well, now already you are guaranteed 1.5 liters of water a day. That is more than most people probably consume for water. Now, should you probably drink 2 to 3 liters a day? Yes. But if you do that, and let's say you add a smoothie in the morning, you're pretty much good to go. I mean, you've drank over 2 liters of water. And what so many people are dealing with, especially with weight loss, is dehydration. They drink coffee, they'll drink energy drinks, but the body is starving for hydration. It's giving you aches, pains, anxiety, brain fog, fatigue, because you are massively dehydrated at a cellular level. Your body needs water. You also need water when you're burning body fat, because every time you oxidize or you break down adipose tissue, you break down body fat, all of the toxic components of body fat, which is 300 times more toxic than your blood, get moved in the bloodstream. Now you need to flush all of that through the liver, and you need to flush all of that through your kidneys. It needs to move through the kidneys and through your bowels to get out of your body. You need to be flushing that body and the lymphatic system with water. Lots of water. You don't overdo it. 2 to 3 liters a day. About half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So that's a big one, all right? The last one is this. Not food-based, but I said I had to work it in there, and that's sleep. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of food in there. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip on this. Stop eating 3 hours before bed. All food, 3 hours before bed. Bonus points if you can do it for 4. But if you go to bed at 10, stop eating at 6. 7 at the latest. You're going to get into a deeper sleep. Probably, well, if you track it as well, probably deeper sleep, probably better REM sleep. But you're also going to allow your digestive system, your detox system to do what it's supposed to do, not use all that energy when you're going to bed trying to digest food. But studies as well show, and I've done this on actually many podcasts before, those people that get 6 hours of sleep or less at night have higher levels of fasting glucose when they wake up in the morning, which if you extrapolate that data, it's going to be, okay, less burning of body fat, more prone to type 2 diabetes, higher inflammation and aging. And also good studies showing that poor sleep, higher risk factor for obesity and linked to 89% risk of obesity in children and 55% in adults, right? So this starts with kids, but certainly we need this information for adults. So hopefully these 7 tips were helpful. There was obviously some that I left out, right? And I left out the whole intermittent fasting and functional medicine detox. I did that on purpose because those are entire categories to speak about, and I've done many shows on those. Those are broad topics to see exactly what we do as a full system, not just nutritional supplements, not just food alone, exactly what we do to help people lose weight. Just go to fatlocity.com, which is the essentially trademark name that we had to come up with for exactly the formula that we use, the very first ever 24-hour day and night fat burning system. And again, no hype behind it. And you certainly, only if it's the right fit for you. But I want you to look into them. Now, doesn't supersede anything we spoke about today, okay? You still need good whole food nutrition. You still need all of these things. But if you can get a little bit of a boost, if you can get a little bit of a help, why not, right? Why not add a little bit, as we say, of icing to the cake? Why not get a lot of these nutrients that you might not be getting, or foods, like if you're not adding hot spices, well, why not get them in a capsule form? So these are all things that you can take a look at. Again, everything can work together. That's the thing, is doesn't have to be one winner. Things can start to work together. That's what it's all about. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, if it was helpful, please do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thank you so much for just tuning into the show. And before you go, I want to make sure that you know about the amazing offer going on right now, this week only, over at EquilibriumNutrition.com. That is the company that I founded 4 years ago now, that has allowed me to take my Boston practice and essentially bring it online. Now you can get the same labs, the same protocols, the same nutritional science-backed formulas I created many years ago for my private practice that I've now been able to share with people all over the world. And this week, what I want to do is share with you one of our favorite products, and that is the Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend capsules. So the Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend is our powder-based formula of 22 organic fruits, vegetables, and superfoods that allow you to get an extra couple of servings per day of fruits and veggies and all of those antioxidants and beneficial vitamins and minerals that go along with it, without any of the sugars or other things that you may be trying to avoid. So that is absolutely a big part of our daily foundational protocol. We have so many people enjoying that product on a daily basis. But sometimes when you're traveling, or if you're someone that just doesn't like to use powders, we now offer the Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend capsules. It's the same exact powder in capsule form, so you can swallow them, take them anywhere, super easy to use. I always make sure I have the powder, I have the capsules, easy to travel with, easy to take, and my dad actually much prefers the capsules over using the greens drink. So whoever it works for, if it works for you, great. If you want to share it with family members, that's awesome too. So right now we are giving that product away completely free over at EquilibriumNutrition.com. So any order over $149, you get a free bottle of our Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend capsules. I believe it's a $49 or $59 value. And again, yours completely free over at EquilibriumNutrition.com while supplies last on orders over $149. Get yours again while supplies last. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Have an amazing day.